Hello everyone, my name is Ergosoft. I'm a solution specialist from Ergosoft and I'm here today with you to talk about the cost manager. You know, that is important for your production to be aware of the pre-cost and post-cost of your production. That's why today we are going to see how this tool can help you to estimate the cost of your production and even after printing keep track the cost of your jobs and even how to gather that information. So stay tuned and let's check how we can do it. So here we are at the job composer. So now let's see how we can reach the cost manager and how we can set everything so we can keep track of our pre-cost and post-cost of our production. So there are two ways to open the cost manager. One of them is using the menu tools from the job composer and select cost manager. Other way to do it is open our control center, go to the tools tab, and here you will find the cost manager. You can access both ways and they will be synchronized. So in this case I'll just choose the one from the job composer. Let's go to tools, cost manager, and here we have it. And in the cost manager you will find 4 tabs that you are going to go through and understand what you can do in each one. So the first one, manage media list. You can add different medias to our database, and at the same time you can give it the cost per square meter. So in this case I have 2 medias added on my database. On the second tab, that's called manage ink and print cost, you will find 2 parts in here. The first one is the manage print cost, where you'll be able to see the number of printers that you have on your production, and you'll be able to set the cost per hour to each one. Here on managing cost, you are able to add different ink types and give it the cost, in this case per liter. On the third tab, that's called manage cost for printed area, if you would like, you could set the cost for your printer based on the square meter that you are printing. So it will not take in consideration your ink or media, but you just say that for each square meter that your printer are working, it has a precise cost. Then on the last tab is where you can easily assign the medias and the inks to your print environment. So you can easily set up everything. So for example, looking here to the side, you have the print environments, and if you see, I have this one that use media 1, this use media 1 as well, these two, and this one. So I have 4 print environments that use media 1. So if I want to assign the media 1 to all of them, I have them selected, the media 1 as well. And even if I want to assign a specific ink for that print environment, let's say that I want a dye sub ink, I could just simply click now in assign selection to print environment. So as you can see with the cost manager, you can create a database of medias, ink, and even set the cost per hour for the printer. Plus you can assign the specific media and ink to a group or one individual print environment. So at this moment you have everything set up to keep track of our pre and post cost. So now let's check how we can check that information. So let's simulate it. Let me import just an image. I will just make the job bigger, so I will just using the Control D command and duplicate the image to have the full media width. And now let's suppose that this is our final job. Let's check the pre-cost of this specific one. So if you click on the job, you see that you are already seeing here the properties and action of the job. And what you're going to do is going here to estimate production cost. So let's click on calculate, and the software is doing like a preview of how much it will probably cost. So here you have the media consumption and the cost for that media, the ink volume that you are using, the cost, and the time that the printer will work, and the cost for that, and of course the total cost of all the job. Of course, if you come here to the consumption, you can see individual each one of them. Like for example on the inks, you'll be able to see how much of each ink you are using. Of course, this is not the final cost. This is just a pre-cost because it was not printed, so the software is just making like a calculation of the possible cost. It will be close, but will not be the precise one, but still give you a brief idea how much it will be. Then now, let's print our job. Let's open our print queue. Here it is. Here we have our job to print. Let's print it. Let's go to Done tab. Here it is. Let's click on the right click, and here you have production data. So here you'll be able to see once again, but this time the final cost of our job with the media, ink, and printer. If you notice, the printer has no cost in here. Let me remind you that I am using right now a virtual printer, so in fact I'm not printing, so the software is not giving us a cost for that. Otherwise, if you would be using a real printer, for sure that will be there, because the printer will have a time working and the software will give it the cost based on the time that was being used. Of course, if you come here to the consumption, once again you will be able to see the individual costs. And besides that, one thing that you can do is export this data for a text file that you can use later to keep track of all the production on your database. Another thing that you can do is coming to the ticket, to the job, click on the right button and open the job ticket. And it will open, like in the browser, a job ticket for this job. And in here you'll be able to see different information about our file, and in right here you will be able to see the production data from this specific job. As you can see, the CostManager is really easy to use and quite strong, and it will allow you to keep track of your production costs. That will allow you to do your all account and be aware of how much it's costing for you, your production. I hope you like, and see you in the next video. I hope that this information was useful for you, and if you have some questions, please write us an email to es.info@ergosoft.net. You can always follow our social network as YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. There you will find more information and news about us. Thank you for watching, and see you soon in the next video. Bye!